Good stuff from JT there. And now we bring in former Buckeye receiver Roy Hall. We're going to play a special spring game edition
Let's do it.
of Wall of 10. Okay, here's how it works. You've done this before. 10 topics. Kayla here's to help you out. Ready?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Topic 1, MVP. Who is your most valuable player of the spring game?
Of everything that transpired during the spring game, Jacob Jarvis is the MVP of this game. 17-year-old young man dealing with muscular dystrophy. And just to see him and his enthusiasm, making guys miss on the field, taking it to the end zone in his wheelchair. We obviously saw what being a Buckeye is really about. It's not about scoring touchdowns. It's not even about beating that team up north all the time. But this is real life, counting your blessings and seeing how you can change an individual's life and inspire people all around the nation. This will get probably 100,000 views just off of the guy. Look at how the guys are jumping around. He'll never forget that. His family won't. It's absolutely awesome.
You're talking about inspiring the nation. I mean, it's already been tweeted out by every major sports outlet. I mean, these people are seeing this and saying, this is really what football is about. This is what family is about. And the Buckeyes, what a great thing there to do for him.
I mean, every single year it seems like a college football team somewhere highlights somebody with some challenges. And it's just awesome to be able to use your platform for a purpose greater than entertainment. It's absolutely awesome.
Yep.
I love it. Category 2, 1, 2, 3 QB. How would you organize the Buckeye quarterback depth chart right now?
I would probably go J.T. Barrett, then your Big Burrows. He's a nice-looking guy in the back, and then Dwayne Haskins probably 3. But J.T. Barrett right now is the leader of this squad. Here's the thing: when J.T. is out there, you don't want to see a guy like him get hurt. It's always good to have a second-string guy or a third-string guy backing you up. But right now, he has to bring those young guys up to speed. This is his 5th year, and you got all these 4- and 5-star quarterbacks fighting for position. The biggest thing right now is they have to keep lifting each other up, because the competitive side is like, I don't want to see that guy have any success. Hey, if he throws a pick, yeah, that's good, man. Get him off the field because I want to turn. But you got to make sure that you build that chemistry.
No matter what people say, though, I mean, we know JT is going to be the starter, but you know, they see the performances today by Joe Burrow and Haskins in there, and the talk starts. Well, if JT has a bad game or 2, then what happens?
Well, see, this is where the maturity comes in, and this is where you have to have that senior leadership kick in, because if you got your family members coming to a game telling you about how great you did and how you should be starting and how you did better than that guy, then all of a sudden you take that attitude into practice and you're not a team guy anymore, and that's where you start making mistakes. So hopefully Coach Meyer can get those guys fired up to compete but still kind of keep each other together.
One reason I had so much respect for Cardale Jones, the way he handled that situation as well. Number 3 here, golden receiver. Who would you start at wide receiver if you were Urban Meyer? Give me 2 or 3 guys here. Who is your best receiving corps?
Well, you got to go Paris Campbell, who I like to call France Soup for obvious reasons. And then Johnny Dixon, who's been doing extremely well this spring. I love him for his perseverance and resiliency. I mean, this guy has been down with injuries at different times. And then also Terry McLaurin. He did well as also. And KJ Hill. I gave you 4. I'm naming all the guys because they're my wideouts. But all of the guys are playing well. They may be at plays. What I liked about the spring game today is seeing those guys catch the deep ball and score touchdowns. Paris Campbell's going to be the guy that takes over for Curtis Samuel. You just never know what's going to happen, but these guys made some plays. Putting up 38 points in the spring game is a good start. Obviously, you see here KJ Hill who can return punts as well. I'm looking for those guys to make some big plays.
I think no matter who is your starters this year, I think they know they have to play better than they did last year. And I like your pick of, Terry McLaurin. I think he's a leader in that wide receiver group, a mature guy. He needs to step up his game a little, but I think he can do that. And Dixon, if he can stay healthy, I think we can see a lot out of him talent-wise.
And that's been the biggest thing with Johnny, but I'm so happy and excited for him. He looked explosive, he looked comfortable, and I hope he makes some great plays this year.
Dixon had 2 touchdowns, McLaurin 2 touchdowns today as well. A new O. Did the offense look any different to you under Kevin Wilson?
What was different was the pace in which they operated. It wasn't necessarily the offensive snaps or like the scheme, but the pace in which they run. I mean, you're talking about getting up to the line of scrimmage, calling plays, and that's what slowed us down a little bit. We're used to the offense running at high velocity, but last year we slowed down and sputtered a little bit. Obviously, you see a trick play here. You normally don't see those things in the spring game. All that does is tell you that we're not going to run it during the season. All right, so don't expect him to throw that play in the season, because he probably won't, but it was just something to do for the fans. But the offense was high-powered, high-paced. I think 28 points in the first half, which was really good.
Is this something that we need to see from the start of the season, though? It's not something that just needs to slowly work into being consistent.
Well, we always get tricked because last year, I think, did we beat Bowling Green? We put 70 points up on the board against Bowling. So then all of a sudden, the offense looks like we're doing well, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of the year, we didn't finish. And so I think coming out the gate, obviously we play Oklahoma at home this year. If we could put up those types of numbers and get the offense and run the offense like Indiana's been running their offense, and still a couple things from their play, but we'll be all right.
A lot of positives. Let's get critical for a second. Columbus Concern, your biggest worry about the 2017 Buckeyes?
They have to finish. I mean, winning the regular season is no longer like enough. And, you know, you beat that team up north and everybody's excited. The enthusiasm's high. Everybody's doing a good job. But you have to now move on to the playoffs and get past that semifinal round. Yeah. We got destroyed versus Clemson this year. Didn't put any points on the board, and then all of a sudden you're out of the conversation. And so nobody remembered the fact that the Buckeyes had a decent season this year and had all these first-round draft picks, but it did not matter that we beat Michigan in double overtime or whatever it was. At the end of the day, they have to perform in the semifinal round and then play for a national title for the season to be worth anything.
And no matter what, there's always pressure on the Buckeyes to win, so that's something that they have to teach those young guys as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Better Buckeye. Most improved player this coming season will be?
I go with J.T. Barrett, hands down. A lot of the criticism last year was on J.T. Barrett and his ability to be accurate and get the leadership role and pushing people to the next level. The offense didn't perform well last year, and J.T. Barrett will be the first to admit, he said in his interview with Dom, that the landmarks were a big deal, and landmarks for quarterback are huge, especially when you're running against zone coverage. If guys aren't where they're supposed to be, then you're not going to be efficient. And the receivers weren't where they were supposed to be, which means J.T. Barrett couldn't put the ball where he wanted, and the offensive line wasn't performing up to its highest caliber. So I look for J.T. Barrett to bounce back and really be in the thick of things for that Heisman conversation.
I'd agree with Roy. I think J.T. knows his role, not only leadership-wise, but on the field, how he needs to perform. I think he's going to be definitely the most improved player, Roy.
I'm looking forward to it. If he is, that means we might get in that semifinal round balling out.
Plus, he's working out with a kendo stick.
I know, right?
I don't even know what that means.
He's ready to do some taekwondo there. Okay. DB Universe. Urban Meyer said he thought the cornerbacks got better as the game went on. Do you agree?
I agree, but that's Coach Meyer's very, very polite way of saying he was disappointed at what they did in the first half. And so instead of going and completely throwing them under the bus like he probably would during the regular season and letting those guys know that they need to step it up, in this particular case, he said they got better, which kind of gave them a little bit of confidence so that they don't go in the locker room thinking we have these receivers. Two guys had 2 touchdowns on 2 separate teams, and that just can't happen for the DBs, especially with the loss of all those guys, Lattimore, Hooker, Garyon Conley, who was number 8, by the way, which is the greatest number ever. But the fact that they lost, you got to figure out a way to get those guys on the same level that they were going into the season.
Well, and that's the thing. They are still young, and like you said, they lost so many guys. I think it's just going to take a little bit to get them into the groove of things, but we've seen how much success these guys have had in that position, and I'm confident that they can get to that level.
Well, here's what I know. When you get scored on like that in the spring game, you take that personal. So this whole offseason, they're going to be looking at all those snapshots that all these nice people from 10 TV are taking in photography and saying, I can't be on those posters anymore.
I agree. Just do it. Phil Knight, Nike founder, was there. Does that matter in a recruiting sense when you have someone like Phil Knight there?
No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. Really? I mean, when you have LeBron James show up at a game, that's a big deal when the recruits are around. To say that the founder of Nike's around, you know, he's like, man, my grandfather's at the game. It's not like you're having a conversation with him, but you're able to look at the opportunities that are available as a Buckeye. Now, that relationship between Coach Meyer and Phil Knight is huge. I saw him talking on the sideline to Mike Weber, but I'm thinking to myself, like, he doesn't even know he's sitting next to a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. But that doesn't mean anything to the guys. They want to see LeBron James. They want to see Kendrick Lamar. They want to see those entertainers. They want to see the people that are on the TV screen. So I don't think so.
And, you know, Phil has really become a staple here in the last few years because he's an Oregon guy, but he's really latched down to Ohio State. He knows he can make the money here.
Oh, yeah. He was there at the Michigan game last fall. Two-hand tap. Roy, what do you think about playing touch football today for the first team?
How would you feel if I just touched on your arms right now?
I wouldn't be scared.
You'd be uncomfortable, though.
So kind of weird,
I think touch football makes football players uncomfortable because you don't know exactly what to do. You don't know exactly how hard to go. How am I going to run up to you as a defensive back and kind of tag you off? And then when I get in the film room, the coaches are yelling at me and telling me I wasn't in position and didn't have my head in front. So,
hold on, check out this hit.
Oh, that was awesome. That was absolutely amazing. Did you see it? It happened so fast, he kept running right through
Paris Campbell got right up after
But here's the thing, though. It's okay. It's smart to keep your guys healthy.
Yeah.
But I would rather see maybe the second half play in the way that the first half was played. You know, the first half played the way the second half was played, with guys actually hitting. And then maybe if you want to keep the quarterback from getting hit, that's fine. The black jerseys, no hitting, but everybody else deserves to get a pop or two.
Well, there was a guy that got hurt actually in the Mississippi State game last weekend, and I think coaches see that too, and they're quick to make a reaction like this. So.
But it's football, and that's a part of it. So I don't really like the touch piece.
I joke. I understand though. Run, Roy, run. Last one here. They had the student race today trying to find out the fastest student. We're going to take a look at it. I want to ask you, could you win this race right now? In your current condition?
In my current condition?
Check it out. Can you? Well, you can beat Brutus.
I would come close. I would come close.
How is Brutus all the way up there?
Well, he cheated. He jumped.
It's a track athlete in that Brutus suit. I probably could get it done. You know, I was a 4'3" guy. Look it up on YouTube if you don't believe me. At 239 pounds. But here's the thing. Right now, I probably could do it. If it was a bench press contest or some type of a push-up contest, I would definitely win that one for sure.
Well, I was pretty clutch in the shuttle race. Do you remember those with the erasers?
Yeah, but nobody saw it though.
Well, you can go back to my. I mean, I'm sure I have it on video.
You probably used to cheat and throw it across the line. You didn't even touch the line. You used to just throw it.
Don't underestimate my speed.
You know, we're done with them now. We're done. Thank you so much, Roy. But we're not done on Wall-to-Wall Sports delivered by Donato.
Yeah, that's right. There were plenty of touchdowns in this spring game, but one was extra special. We'll explain coming up next.